Welcome everyone to the City of Joliet City Council meeting for Tuesday, April 19th, 2022 at 6:30. Mayor Robert Dekirk will preside over the meeting. We'll have an invocation by Pastor Larry Tyler, Second Baptist Church, 156 South Joliet Street. Please stand.
With your permission and agreement, I'd like to initiate a moment of silence for Joe Shatina with the record of service of 36 years for the City Council. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you for this privilege to convene together one more time. We thank you, Lord, for the privilege we do not take for granted to invite you into these proceedings. We thank you, Lord, for this council. We ask, Lord, that you would rest upon their shoulders. We ask, Lord, that you would be a blessing not only to the council, but to all stakeholders and the constituents of this great city. Lord, we ask for your presence to superintend through our thoughts, words, and deeds. We ask for your wisdom and understanding and forbearance. We ask for vision and ability to see and yield to the greater good for our city and for its progression to meet goals that you have inspired in our midst. We ask this now in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Let everybody say,
Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Roll call. Begin with roll call. Mayor Dekirk.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin. She did notify us that she would not be able to attend this evening. Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug. We were notified he's running late. Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda are proclamations this evening. We'll begin with the proclamation honoring Dr. Judy Mitchell.
Doctor? Proclamation. Whereas Dr. Mitchell has worked at the Joliet Junior College, JJC, for 25 years, having started as an administrative assistant in the CIOS department in 1996. And in 2001, she served as the program management specialist in adult and family services, followed by assistant to the director of administrative services in 2002. In 2004, she became the interim director of administrative services and then the director of business and auxiliary services in 2005. And in 2012, she was appointed to the role of VP of Administrative Services. Whereas Dr. Mitchell received her doctorate in community college leadership from National Louis University in June of 2012. She holds a master's degree in business administration and a bachelor's degree in business and technology from Governor State University and earned an associate degree in microcomputers for business and computer programming from Joliet Junior College in 1998. Dr. Judy Mitchell is Joliet Junior College's 9th president and was unanimously approved as the college president by the Joliet Junior College Board of Trustees in September of 2016. Prior to Dr. Mitchell's presidency, she served as the interim president since March of 2016. Whereas Dr. Mitchell served in various boards such as Silver Cross Hospital, Will County Workforce Investment Board, Habitat for Humanity, Will County Center for Economic Development, the Grundy Economic Development Council. Also, Dr. Mitchell is a member of the Joliet Rotary and Three Rivers Education Partnership. Whereas during her career at JJC, Dr. Mitchell led the college budgeting process through the state of Illinois fiscal crisis and helped reduce the college's operating costs by over $2 million over 4 years. Whereas Dr. Mitchell championed the pursuit of creative revenue sources such as grant dollars to offset operational costs. And in the year 15, the college generated more than $5.4 million in grants over operating costs. Whereas JJC was the 2021 winner of Advancing Diversity category from the American Association of Community Colleges, and Dr. Mitchell was presented nationally with the AACC Future Leaders Institute for Bridging the Equity Gap in 2021. Whereas Dr. Mitchell has been recognized for her numerous contributions to education and to the community. Whereas Dr. Mitchell received the Gary W. Davis Ethical Leadership Award from the Illinois State Community Colleges Trustee Association in 2021, which honors individuals who have made an outstanding contribution to the pursuit and support of ethical leadership and decision making. Whereas in 2018, Dr. Mitchell was honored as the Zonta Club of the Joliet Women Division Award for contributing an improvement to the status of women in the computer. Now, therefore, I, Robert Dekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby recognize Dr. Mitchell for her dedication to the Joliet community.
Wow.
Thank you so much. What an honor and a privilege to receive this recognition. Mayor Dekirk, you have been a phenomenal supporter of Joliet Junior College as well as the entire City Council, and I can't thank you enough. I couldn't do what I do without the support of our community. I know that, I'm not sure what the future holds for me. I do know that there will be something, with more of a life-work balance. I have 4 amazing, beautiful grandchildren, and I look forward to spending some time with. But I know JJC, hopefully we'll all be future JJC students, just like their grandma. But thank you again. What a true privilege and honor to receive this recognition. I thought if it's okay, I did bring a few notes that I just wanted to highlight about all of the great work that we've done collectively. And it's, again, because of the team, it's because of this community. I want to say how proud I am. We've been a Will County resident for 42 years. My husband and I raised our children and now our grandchildren in this amazing community. And it's because of the commitment and the dedication and the caring and compassion of the entire district, the entire community. And I cannot thank anyone enough, because it's truly what keeps us here till we talk about live, work, and play. That's what it's about. It's just about a community that cares. So I thank each of you for that. Some of the highlights from 2016 to today, I thought I'd like to share the financial stability of JJC. If you recall, there was a 3-year period where our state did not have a budget. In 2017, in anticipation of reduced state funding, we made the difficult decision to raise tuition rates. However, after better than expected state revenues, we made the unprecedented move to provide a partial reimbursement to students, the only community college in Illinois to do so. The college disbursed approximately $2.9 million in total to students registered for both fall 2017 and spring 2018, in an amount that equated to the extra state funding we received towards our fiscal year 18 budget. We then held tuition flat for 4 years, again taking into consideration our students and accessibility and affordability in higher education. At our upcoming board meeting in January, and then again in May, we're going to be proud to recommend yet another balanced budget representing 50 years of fiscal accountability and responsibility to our community. We established a diversity, equity, and inclusion team to ensure that our DEI goals and priorities are met and truly embedded in our campus culture. This is something that has been particularly important to me since I took the role as president. and to see our work recognized at the national stage in 2021 through the American Association of Community Colleges Advancing Diversity Award was truly an incredible acknowledgement of our collective efforts. I owe this recognition to the great work of our employees at Joliet Junior College. We launched a new medical assisting program which filled fast. Employment of medical assistants is now projected to grow 29% by the year 2026. And now the second cohort is close to completing their degree, so great news for our healthcare partners in the community. We will launch the new respiratory therapy program in the fall of 2022. Allied health programming continues to grow. I'm extremely proud of the recent agreement with Silver Cross Hospital, who created a program to offer our JJC students tuition reimbursement opportunities if they sign a commitment to work with Silver Cross Hospital for a short period of time upon their graduation. We've invested in downtown Joliet by opening our new City Center campus in 2017, remapping the experience of students seeking a GED or ESL class in a world-class facility, not to mention bringing our world-class culinary program to our downtown community. We started the institution's first ever State of the College in 2016. Participation and attendance has grown 42% over the past 6 years. We established the President's Ambassador Group, led by Kelly Roeder-Tonelli, to develop key community engagement points across our district to strengthen relationships with organizations and businesses. We now have 45 JGC employees representing the college throughout our 7-county district. We've cultivated our new relationship with Lion Electric, and we're excited about the potential collaboration between the college and their business as they bring it into the U.S. Our history of strong partnerships with businesses like ExxonMobil and LyondellBasell, for example, have prepared the college to venture into new industries and economic opportunities for our residents. For the last 2 years, JJC has been named top diversity employer by DiversityJobs.com, an online job board dedicated to diversity and inclusion at the workplace. From fiscal year 21 to 22, in just 1 year, our JJC Foundation awarded over $800,000 in scholarships to our students. We never want to hear that our students cannot afford a good education. There has been a 225% increase in emergency funding support to students from fiscal year 21 to 22. We now award over $70,000 thank you to the generosity of the JJC Foundation. We've created a dedicated student mental health and wellness program team with increased resources for confidential services, advocacy for mental health needs and concerns, and to promote healthy lifestyle behaviors and emotional well-being. And then in July of 2021, we launched the Center for Multicultural Access and Success to support holistic student wellness. The team supports minority students, first-generation students, undocumented students, and so many more. Did you know that 56% of JJC's student population is first-generation college students, just like I was? Joliet Junior College is an institution that has an amazing legacy known for quality instruction, excellent support for our students, and a commitment to enhance our community. My memories are many, and my appreciation is everlasting. I thank each of you for your ongoing support for me and our commitment to academic excellence in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To the city council, talking of number of the city of Joliet's insignia.
Oh, thank you very much. Pat and I started our morning together. We are serve on the Workforce and Investment Communications Committee, and we're co-chairs, so partners.
I did. I'm sorry, I was late.
Starting to end your day.
You moving too fast.
No, I don't care what you want. I'm okay.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good work. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
She had all her accomplishments. Go like this on your
That's what I tell Tom all the time.
It was, had a wild hair, probably putting your glasses on and off.
Let's take them off to read a small rate.
Next is a proclamation proclaiming April 29th, 2022 as Arbor Day.
We have a proclamation here. Proclamation, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special date be set aside for the planting of trees. Whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Whereas trees can clean the air, produce oxygen, provide habitat for wildlife, reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, and moderate the temperature. Whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. Whereas Joliet has been recognized as Tree City USA for the 31st consecutive year by the National Arbor Day Foundation, and Joliet desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, I, Robert Dekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim April 29th, 2022 as Arbor Day in the City of Joliet, and I urge all citizens to support the efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and support our community's forestry program. Dated April 29th, 2022. Signed by our Mayor, Robert Dekirk.
I have a few remarks. I've got a few remarks, and then I don't know if the bridge is the cause for a couple of kids not showing up, but we're going to honor the person that we have here. Trees were planted today on a nearby city street. And I happened to be in the area, and I watched as a family brought all of their children out and took their photo by the tree. I wish you could have all been there to see the excitement and the joy in their faces. We have shown that we care about trees in Joliet. We've been designated a tree city for 31 years. We instituted a 10-year contract growing program 8 years ago to assure a diverse, consistent supply of trees. And there are a few council members yet on the council who were part of that contract growing effort. It's been adopted by several other cities, and we've been a leader in that regard. We also have a city arborist to oversee our efforts, and Jim apologized that he could not attend this evening. Can we improve our efforts? Citizens in Chicago were upset because 142 trees were removed last year, and that was the total of the 2 previous years before. Last year in Joliet, we cut down 646 trees. Most concerning to our tree advisory board is that the trees were removed without input from our city arborist. And that's something that's not a best management practice. We think we can do better. We're moving into a future that will include for your consideration an updated tree preservation ordinance, an urban forest management plan to replace one that was completed in '94. And Joliet consistently continues to plant 1,000 trees a year. Every resident benefits from that program, and all of you are to be applauded for supporting that. And I'd like to say to remind residents that they can go online and fill out a form and request a tree to be planted if they have an appropriate area in front of their house in the parkway. And individuals can also enhance the forest that we live in because 90% of our trees are on private property. So it counts as far as what residents do on their property. Some people have no trees, some people have plenty, but planting another tree benefits everybody. This year we're going to have an Arbor Day celebration on Friday, April 29th at Thomas Jefferson School. Principal Connie Ramirez was enthusiastically agreeable to having it there. And we have poster contest winners from that school. We have at least one, and that is Joseph Archiega, who is here, and he won 3rd place. And the neat thing about his poster is that aside from the artistic value, it has every tree, and we all looked at it, and it has a circle in it, and it says O2, oxygen.
Oh.
So the great benefit, and so Joseph, congratulations. Here we are. And I think you're going to get, you want to shake hands with city council members?
No.
You can, or, and we're going to, go ahead.
You know, is that his mom back there? I think she wants to come up and get some pictures too.
Well, no, that's Mary.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I don't know. Somebody was taking pictures and they were getting the back of you. Oh, there's his father. Okay. Wrong switch.
I'd like to add one more thing. We have these challenge coins that City Manager Caparelli likes to hand out to special people. And we have 3 here for the students and their challenge coins, so we'd like to hand them out. So on behalf of the Mayor and City Council, congratulations.
Thank you so much. We do this every year, and it never gets old. It's always a lot of fun.
Agreed. You want to step up? We'll take a picture.
Sure.
Rita, I have to tell you, the tree that you gave us last year, mine's growing in a nice little pot. I was getting it big. I still have it, so it's doing well.
Oh, we will be giving trees out to the students.
But usually I kill things.
Good work.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug? Councilman Morris? Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Motion carried. Citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to council committee reports. First is the Finance Committee report.
Yes. Can you approach, please? Name and address, please, ma'am.
Lori Palacios, 1008 Saddle Ridge Drive, Joliet. I'm here to represent the subdivision for Palacios Estates in Joliet.
Do you have a comment?
Hmm?
Do you have a comment to make?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So then it would be the Finance Committee report would be next.
Thank you. The Finance Committee met today at 5:30. On the committee is Councilwoman Reardon, Councilman Guerrero, and myself. We had a light but very important agenda. First item is a law that's been signed in from the governor. We have moved to bring to the full council Blue Line Professional Consultants, which will work with all of the police officers and be part of a one-year contract if the full council approves it, which would start in July of this year. The other item of great importance also was our contract for our auditing service with Wormer Rogers, Duran, and Rizzo has expired this year, and they have offered another 3-year contract, a 5-year contract at a 3% increase, which will also be coming to the council. Personnel-wise, since last meeting, 7 additional people have been hired. There's still a number of openings for summer internships that are there. We have a new budget officer by the name of Kevin Singh, who gave the finance report for Mr. Gandati. And in that report, we are up 13 million from last year. The main areas was a gaming tax, a state sales tax is up, state income tax money is up, hotel motel is up, as well as the ambulance revenue service is up. And with that also was mentioned yesterday from city manager, that our revenues have exceeded expectations. Sherri?
I'm not sure if you mentioned that consulting firm, the mandate was that we had to do mental health and wellness screenings for police officers. So I don't.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Caesar?
You mentioned about continuing our work with Warners and Rogers for.
Yes, that's the auditing firm of Warner Rogers will be moved to the full council. Unless Mr. Gandati has anything to add, that'd be my report.
Public Service Committee report.
Public service met here at City Hall in the City Council chambers yesterday at 4:30 in the afternoon. On the committee is Councilwoman Reardon, Councilman Morris, and myself. We had 7 contracts we looked at. It was heavy on water equipment, obviously. Water switch, and really updating anything that any part of our water system that was put in prior to 1970. So we did look through those contracts and they were awarded appropriately. We did look at a professional engineering services contract for the design of the Joliet City Square, down by Van Buren off Chicago Street. And it was suggested and was negotiated that Civil Tech Engineering be used because we're already doing the good portion of Chicago Street improvements. Right now it's going from Jefferson to Webster, and there's going to be a synergy between that project, Chicago Street, and the project that's the plaza, so there's no reason to kind of double pay 2 engineering firms to do the same job. So we did look through that. It made perfect sense to us. We went through some closeouts, final payments, most of the change orders. This was a really nice meeting or committee meeting because most of them were credits back and then final payments out. Again, we went through those 6 items and thoroughly reviewed them, and they were completely in order. And then we did have some discussion about the professional services agreement for independent review firm for the alternative water source program, which is Burns McDonald Engineering Company. They essentially will oversee or be the backseat driver to those that are currently from Stantec and our staff doing things. They will review, make sure there's, it's cost effective in the way that we propose our bids. They will be a consultant. It's really another set of eyes. And for this council, I know that all of us are very much into transparency, and that's what it's going to offer the public, is making sure there's no hoops, essentially. So they came back and they brought up a representative from the company who answered our questions, and I think we were satisfied that this would be a very good firm, a very large firm, a firm that does engineering as well as construction. They won't be doing any construction on this side. They obviously would be excluded. They will be doing engineering review and bid reviews, things of that nature. And we would recommend it to the council once they come back to us with a final contract. Most likely we would recommend to the council that we do allow them to be hired. That's a really nice layer of certainty and transparency. And that's pretty much it. Is there anything here? No, I don't think so. Okay. Well, then that will be my report then. Thank you.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on April 4th, 2022, and the minutes of the council meeting held on April 5th, 2022 stand approved as reported. Invoices paid report. It's recommended this report be received and placed on file. Council Memo 206-22, Professional Engineering Service Agreement for the East Side Wastewater Plant MCC upgrades to Strand Associates in the amount of $174,800. Council Memo 207-22, Amendment Number 1 to the Professional Services Agreement for the Commercial Water Service GIS Mapping Project, Contract 1 to Rudiger, Tonelli and Associates in the amount of $54,200. Council Memo 208-22, Change Order Number 4 for the 2021 Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Program to Performance Pipelining in the amount of negative $13,390.99. Council Memo 209-22, Payment for Emergency Repairs to the Black Road Lift Station to Dom Mechanical Industries in the amount of $40,285. It's recommended Council Memos 206-22 through 209-22 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved. Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on, under licenses and permit applications, Council Memo 211-22, issuance of a Class B liquor license at 1527 North Rainier Street, Phil's Corner Spirits and Gaming. It's recommended a Class B liquor license for Phil's Corner Spirits located at 1527 North Rainier be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 212-22, transfer of a Class B liquor license at 1008 North Hickory Street, Johnny's. It's recommended the transfer of the Class B liquor license for Johnny's located at 1008 North Hickory be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under public hearings, Council Memo 214-22, an annexation of 8.47 acres east of Northeast Frontage Road, classification to I-1 light industrial zoning, and approval of an annexation agreement has been withdrawn by the petitioner. Council Memo 215-22, resolution approving an annexation agreement for 419 High Street. This is a public hearing, so comments would be in order at this time.
Would anyone like to speak in this item?
Seeing,
Yeah.
I was just getting up to leave, but my name's Doug Casper. I live here in Joliet. Kind of an update of our nonviolent city project that we kicked off here.
Excuse me, yeah, no, this is on the item for.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you'll wait till the end of the meeting.
Have a great day. I'm out of here today.
Okay, thank you, Doug.
God bless.
so is there anyone present that would like to speak on Council Memo 215-22, a resolution approving an annexation agreement for 419 High Street? Seeing none, let the record show that the hearing is now closed. It is recommended this resolution be adopted. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
I just want to add that this property was for the Habitat for Humanity. They're going to build a home on there in case you missed it. And this property was donated by the late Jim Smith. He was a prominent appraiser here in town and very, very involved in our community. And I just thought that he should be commended for that. I vote aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. The next public hearing is Council Memo 216-22, a resolution approving an annexation agreement of 46.2 acres located at the northeast corner of I-80 and I-55. This is a public hearing, so comments would be in order at this time.
Would anyone like to speak in this item?
Seeing none, let the record show the hearing is now closed. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman.
This is the Joliet logistics thing?
No.
No, okay, I'm sorry. How would I?
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Here it is.
Motion carried.
All right.
Under ordinances, Council Memo 218-22, ordinances associated with the annexation of a 0.14 acre lot located at 419 High Street. This includes an ordinance approving the annexation of a 0.14 acre lot located at 419 High Street and an ordinance approving the classification of 419 High Street to R2A, single-family residential zoning. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 219-22, ordinances approving the annexation of 46.2 acres located at the northeast corner of I-80 and I-55 and classification to B2 central business zoning. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 220-22, ordinances associated with Joliet Logistics Park subdivision. It's recommended this item be tabled to the May 3rd council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to table Council Memo 220-22 to the May 3rd council meeting. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 220-22, ordinances associated with Joliet Logistics Park subdivision has been tabled to the May 3rd council meeting. Moving on to Council Memo 221-22, an ordinance approving a preliminary plat of Palacios Estates subdivision, a minor subdivision, and an ordinance approving a recording plat of Palacios Estates subdivision, a minor subdivision. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
Mayor, have some questions on this?
Yes.
I don't know, Jim Torrey probably. I received a few letters from individuals that are, I guess, down the street in Hoburg Drive, where the area we're looking at here, as I understand it, comes off of Gauger before you get to the other residents that have been there for some time. And their concern is that their lots are all on 1 acre parcels, and this would be basically half of that. Was that talked about? I see some of these, when I looked at the notes from your zoning meeting, I guess some of the people were at that meeting opposing this.
Yeah, that was discussed. There are actually two separate subdivisions. So the ones on the cul-de-sac are part of Woodruff subdivision. This is Greenwood Estates subdivision. So they don't fall under the same set of regulations or covenants. There's no covenants for Greenwood Estates. There are some larger lots down on the cul-de-sac, but not all of them are acre lots or larger. Some fall under the same category as this subdivision here, which I think are like 20,000 square feet. You know, so there are some similar size lots to what's being proposed here. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 221-22, ordinance approving a preliminary plat of Palacios Estates subdivision, a minor subdivision, and an ordinance approving a recording plat of Palacios Estates subdivision, a minor subdivision?
So moved. Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
No.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
I actually was at the planning and zoning meetings for that, and they were pretty passionate about the differences that would make in their subdivision. I'm going to vote no.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Motion carried 5-2. Council Memo 222-22, an ordinance approving the final plat of Mound Road Commercial Park Subdivision, Second Edition, Unit 2. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
I got a quick question. Yes, I see that one small portion of, parcel of this will be augmenting the existing parking lot. That is not to rent spaces, right? That's to service the business?
Yeah, I think it was just a quirkiness of how that site developed. It was not on a particular lot, if you're talking about that small triangular lot. So by creating this smaller lot, they can include it in that original development of that first building there on the southeast corner.
Which would be, Jim, it would be servicing their business, not renting out.
That's right, yeah, and it's already existing parking lot.
They're just expanding what they need,
It's already existing, this is just putting it all together.
codifying it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 222-22, an ordinance approving the final plat of Mound Road Commercial Park Subdivision, Second Edition, Unit 2?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo 224-22, a resolution authorizing the release of executive session minutes. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 225-22, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Joliet and International Union of Operating Engineers Local 399, AFL-CIO. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved. Second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
Yes, I'd just like to say that I'm glad to have finally wrapped up the contract for 399. I'm glad that Brent is here. He does a tremendous job for the city, and we're glad to have just about all the contracts behind us. The last contract that we're working on is the Police Supervisors Union, but all the rest have been put to bed. So thank you for everybody for their hard work, especially Brent, on this particular contract. He's kind of the last one out the door here. So thanks again. So that concludes my remarks. Thank you.
New business not for final action or recommendation is next.
No.
Sherri?
No.
Next is public comments. James Lanham.
Everyone doing tonight? Hopefully this doesn't turn out like last time. It looks like everyone got here on time this time. My name is James Lanham. I'm a candidate for Illinois State Representative District 86, and I'm here to talk about catalytic converter theft. It's becoming an epidemic in Illinois. In the first 6 months of 2021, State Farm Insurance paid $21 million in claims. In all of 2020, they paid $33 million. And it makes you think, why is this such a lucrative racket? Well, it's because there is no state law or regulations regarding private individuals selling them. The Illinois General Assembly attempted with House Bill 4734, introduced January 24th, 2022. It would have required ID and a vehicle title for unattached catalytic converters. The bill languished and died, as is the new normal for the General Assembly. They hurry up and pass through bills that enable criminals and hurt crime victims. So when it comes to helping crime victims and preventing them, they did nothing. So I'm asking that Joliet drafts its own ordinance, since we have a lot of salvage yards and stuff like that, to pass a similar law. If anyone brings in a loose catalytic converter, state ID, or preferably a driver's license, because if you have a state ID and not a driver's license, how'd you get a catalytic converter? Also a vehicle title to sell that. I know several people who have gotten their converter stolen, and it costs, upwards of $2,000 to get the problem fixed, and it's something that makes a criminal $400. Also, I'd like the council to pass a proclamation honoring local resident Sal Fasano, coach of the Atlanta Braves. They won the World Series last year, so I think it would be a good idea to honor a local resident who accomplished something so remarkable. And that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Seeing none, next is mayor and council comments.
Joe?
I'd just like to send my condolences to the Shatina family.
Just the celebration of this weekend, everybody who does celebrate. I think it's something only like once every 30 years that Easter, Passover, and Ramadan all coincide on the same weekend. So to those who did celebrate, congratulations.
I too would like to send condolences to Joe Shatina's family. Joe passed away, I believe it was Saturday. Joe occupied the very seat that I sit in, District 1, for 36 years. So he served the city well, and he was a pretty nice guy. I got to know him after I assumed the seat. So my condolences to the family, and I think we're going to be doing something at some point, the mayor said already. Then, if everybody will indulge me for a minute, proud dad moment. My daughter is graduating in May from the University of St. Francis College of Nursing. And very demanding program, very well-respected program, I've come to learn. And she's in a dogfight with a young man in the program to be number 1 or number 2 in the class. So if you dial 1-800-GO-LAUREN, no, I'm kidding. They got their finals going on right now, so I just wanted to say, Lauren, I'm very proud of you. Already been offered a job at Christ Hospital up in Oak Lawn, which you may be familiar with, right? Yes. Fantastic hospital, so very proud dad moment. So she got her brains from her mom. I think you all figured that out before I said that.
Mike Turk had called me, who was a very close friend with Joe Shatina, to give me some of the details for everyone that the wake will be at T-Sachs Funeral Home Friday evening. The visitations will be from 4 to 8, and prayer service will be Saturday at the funeral home, at T-Sachs Funeral Home, at 10 a.m. That's it.
Along those same lines, a little story to tell, personal story with Mr. Shatina. And first of all, my deep sympathy to all the family, especially Sue, his widow. When I finally won my council seat, I became one of the only women, the third woman to be on this council, because they were all used to being all men on here. And I have to say they weren't quite sure what to do. So Mr. Shatina was assigned to me, if you will. He told me this years later. And he said, I had to follow you to see what you were up to. And he followed me or went with me everywhere. I went to business meetings, I went to neighborhood meetings, I went to ribbon cuttings, and he was always there until finally about third or fourth month, he said, I give up. He says, I can't keep up with you. You are going everywhere, and I'm not used to this. And I won't call you, he called me a little S-H-I, and I'll leave it at that. He says, I can't keep up with you. He said, you're a good go-getter, and from that day forward, he kind of became a mentor to me and kind of guided me along. And sometimes we didn't always agree, but we agreed to disagree and ended up laughing. But he became a good friend. He became a friend of the family. He'd visit my dad when my dad was living with us, and they'd have a little cocktail on the front porch, and they would tell stories. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. 36 years on a public service, that's a very long time. So, Joe, we're all gonna miss you. Thanks.
Sherri?
Yes, I just want to say I had the pleasure of meeting and spending a few moments with one of our newest Joliet heroes. I don't know if you heard the story about the 6th grader at the Aux Sable School, middle school. He, on March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, he walked into his lunchroom. His name is Sergio Escobedo, by the way. he walked into his lunchroom and his friend he thought was goofing around, choking and, just messing with him. And all of a sudden he turned red and then he started to turn purple. And he had learned the procedure of how to do Heimlich by watching YouTube. And he did this procedure and he saved his friend's life. So of course I called Chief Blasky and he was more than excited to give him the Citizens Life Savings Award. So we got to go out there on April 12th and we met with the Principal Rivera and young Sergio Escobedo. And Chief Blasky presented him with the award and also with one of our Joliet Fire Department challenge coins. And he was very excited, a very humble young man, very humble, but he was very excited. So I wanted you to know about him.
Thank you. A couple things. I agree. The condolences to Joe Shatina's family. Joe was a long time, staple, not just on the council, but in the community, and he will be missed. So condolences for the loss of Mr. Shatina. On April 6th, I was at the Joliet Township High School's 9th annual robotics team exhibition. It was a great event. It was well attended. There's some city staffers that were there also. The same day, there was a public meeting held for the Hobolt Road Bridge and the I-80 Hobolt Road extension, which is going to which construction is beginning. Councilman Clement, you were the primary purpose for putting that meeting on. It was well received. A lot of people from the public were there who had questions for the engineering staff, and we were able to address those, so thank you for doing that. And then finally, earlier this afternoon, Congressman Foster was in town. He presented a $300,000 endowment to the Will Grundy Health Clinic at 213 East Cass. This is some of the COVID or the stimulus money that's coming back to Joliet. There's about 6 items inside Joliet that received federal money because of the efforts of Congressman Foster. This was the first, there could be others coming, but I do want to thank Congressman Foster for definitely keeping Joliet in the forefront when the money was coming out of Washington. He's done an exceptional job the last few months bringing money and grants back to the city of Joliet. Today was one of the smaller ones, but it was well received by the Will Grundy Health Clinic. So thank you, Congressman Foster, and that's all I have for tonight.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Congratulations.